Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Go Beyond. My name is Alyssa Robinson. I am the digital strategist here at Treach, and the countdown to Christmas is 5 days.
Here.
I'm here with our senior pastor, Reverend Daniel Humbert. And actually, are we down to 4 days?
Yeah.
My Christmas countdown is off.
Yeah.
But Go Beyond is a
Advent calendar helps me. I have an Advent calendar.
Go Beyond is a time that we dig deeper into the message from Sunday. And this Sunday was all about unstoppable love. We are in the middle of our at the end, I keep saying in the middle, we are at the end of our Advent series, Unstoppable Christmas, where we've journeyed through the traditional topics of Advent: hope, love, peace, joy. So this week is unstoppable love. And so we're going to answer together some of the questions from the Huddle discussion. And I've included a link to the Huddle guide in this video. So wherever you're watching, it'll either be above me or below me. And I hope that you'll click into that Huddle guide and take these Huddle discussion questions home and have them around the kitchen table tonight. Because it really is great conversation, and they're pretty simple questions that can lead to, they seem simple on the surface, but then they can lead to really deep, meaningful conversation. So with that, our very first question today is, how can you demonstrate love at Christmas?
Yeah, for me, I think that kind of goes on two levels. One is sort of how can I serve others and be kind to others, whoever I may encounter, right? So can I help out with love packs or CCA Give Tree or military pack, those kinds of things? That's a tangible way to show love, right? And then, of course, there's that other stuff that we got to do with people we know, whether family or friends or coworkers, where just being in relationship, demonstrates that. Sometimes that's sort of self-sacrificing. Sometimes it's just by, not saying those words or those things that will tick them off. So I don't know. That's how I'm planning on doing it. How about you?
I think that one thing I'm really bad at, that I've been trying to do a better job at lately, is to just say yes and be helpful. So especially my mom can attest to this. If she is in the kitchen and we're all sitting in the living room and she says, "Can anyone help with fill in the blank?" I'm never the person to say, "Yeah, me." I wait for my sister to do it because she's the nice one. But what I want to do is anytime someone says, "Hey, can you help me with blank?" I want to be the first person to say, "Yeah, I can help with that," and just get up and do something. So I think that that's a simple way with family that I can show love this Christmas. This Christmas especially, because really the only people that I'll be in contact with this Christmas is my family.
Yeah, definitely going to be different.
So the second question is really a hard question. Why is love so hard sometimes?
Isn't it though? It just is. I'm not sure I have a good answer either, but my gut kind of tells me that love is hard because it demands things of us, right? If indeed it's sort of the love that God talks about and Paul talks about and Jesus talks about, that is sort of self-sacrificing rather than self-serving, man, that just sort of goes against my natural inclination. And so I want to be that person. I hope that I can be that person, but I'm not that person as often as I ought to be. And so I think love is hard because it demands stuff of me, of you. And it means that I have to be kind or nice or whatever to others when I don't necessarily want to be. So I think that's why it's hard.
Yeah, I think it's selfless love is easy when you're being selflessly loved in return.
Yeah.
But when you feel like you're giving and giving and giving and you're not getting anything in return, that's when love starts to get really difficult.
Yeah.
And we treat it as a barter system as opposed to just letting it go. And I guess that's not actually love, according to 1 Corinthians that we read this Sunday.
Yeah. It's the challenge, right? Because I think, and I reckon that that's how God feels all the time, right? Because we're not often reciprocating even with God. And so I sometimes reflect on that and recognize the error of my ways in terms of how I love people, because I can only assume you shared that because you have felt that just like I feel that, right? If somebody's loving me, it's real easy to love them back. But man, if they're not sort of in the game with you, it is hard. And I just kind of reflect sometimes on God, because I feel confident that's the way God every once in a while feels. And I'm sure it was the way Jesus felt every once in a while as well.
Well, and not just that, loving me in the way I want to be loved. Because, and that's, we have a lot of conversations about Enneagram. This morning on the Treach Facebook page, we posted about the 5 love languages. But you know, I'm an 8 on the Enneagram. My love language is quality time. And so the way that I show love is by spending quality time with the people I care about. And it's also the way I receive love. But I have to open up my mind and see that, hey, if someone else's love language is giving a gift and they give me a gift, then that's a big deal for them. And that's them showing that they love me, even though that gift doesn't really mean a lot to me.
Right.
And so I think it's hard to expand outside of loving the way that feeds me.
Yeah, I agree. And it is the ongoing challenge, that's for sure.
Okay, so our last question, another big question. How does fear hinder love?
Ooh, there's that fear thing. Well, I think it's interesting, because in my family, as I think in many families, we tend to treat those we love the most and have the deepest intimacy with, whether parents, siblings, whatever, um, sort of the least kind, because we know, or at least we assume, that we will be loved back and that we will be able to get away with whatever because they love me, right? And I love them. And yet, isn't it ironic that I think what sort of hinders me from loving other people is the fear that they won't love me back, the fear that somehow it's not going to be reciprocated, just like we were just talking about. And so I think that's one of the big factors in loving other people, is we're afraid somehow they're not going to reciprocate, either because they don't know me or I don't know them well enough, or somehow we're not on the same page. And I really do think that's the big stopgap in culture and society, is this fear of the other and what it means for them to be them and me to be me, and how am I going to love them when we're just different, whatever that different looks like. I think that's a big factor.
Yeah, I think assumptions are a big part of it. Of when I start to function out of fear, I start making assumptions about other people's motivations and why they're doing what they're doing, and they always have evil intentions in my book. And so, but that does come from a place of fear, a fear of losing control, a fear of being taken advantage of. And so, like, because I'm afraid, I have my guard up all the time, looking for the next person who's going to betray me, who's going to hurt me. And so I start putting that on people. And I don't know if there's anything that hinders love more than that.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
Assuming everyone's the enemy.
That's a big hindrance, right? I mean, but it all stems from fear. It really does.
Yeah.
I maintain that that's why we have so many problems in culture and society, is our fear of one another. Some of which can be fact-based, but most of which is just, like you say, assumptions. Yeah.
Well, those are all of the Huddle discussion questions that we have today, but I do want to take a moment. So this Sunday, we were talking about unstoppable love. This week is Unstoppable Christmas. And so what that means for you is that you are going to be able to worship and celebrate Christ's birth with us. And whether you do it online or in person, we are excited to worship alongside you. So you can see all of the worship times at tmumc.org/Christmas, but I'll just give you a brief overview. For online, on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th, we are going live live at 9 a.m. and that video will be up all day long so that you can celebrate Christmas with us at your convenience. And we will also be going live on Christmas Eve, the 24th at 5, 7, and 9 p.m. And our in-person worship experience in the sanctuary with candlelight, traditional candlelight service will be at 5, 7, and 9 p.m. on Christmas Eve. We're also doing candle lighting at home. And so we invite you to put together a makeshift Advent wreath in your home and come by the church. Stop by the front porch. We have candles for you to take home for you and your family to light from the Christ candle and spread the light of Christ in your home on Christmas Eve. And it'll be a beautiful experience. So I know that was a lot of information, but if y'all could just go to tmumc.org/Christmas, you'll be able to see everything that we have happening over the next few days.
Indeed. And I encourage you to invite somebody. Tell them that URL address or just text them and let them know about it because it's a great opportunity to invite folks.
All right. Bye, everybody. We will see you on Wednesday for another episode of Go Beyond. And as always, you can catch previous episodes at tmumc.org/Go Beyond.